65-year-old teacher has just been sentenced to 2 years, 7 months, and 17 days in prison for 4 counts of indecent assault against a 13-year-old boy. On one of the previous videos, we would have talked about how the law in St. Vincent and the Grenadines fail male victims. And not even a day later, the reality has stepped in and backed that up. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. A child, repeated abuse, multiple charges, and yet the charge is not rape. That is exactly what we are talking about. Under the current law in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, rape is still defined in a way that excludes male victims. So even when a minor is involved, there could be multiple incidents, the abuse is serious, the system is forced to downgrade it to indecent assault. And look at the outcome, less than 3 years in prison. That's not speculation, that is not opinion, that is the law playing out in real life. Now ask yourself this, if this were a 13-year-old girl and a grown adult man, would you be hearing indecent assault or would it be rape? And maybe it might not only end there, it would not only be rape, there would also be the possibility of life imprisonment. So when you look at this, the crime is the same, the trauma is the same, but the label is very different and the justice is very different as well. As all of this has now come to surface, let's be real. This is not just about one teacher. This is about a system that cannot legally call certain acts rape, even when they clearly are, because of an outdated definition. So what happens is that the justice gets capped, sentences would stay low, and victims are often left with half recognition. And here's the part that hits the hardest. We just had the conversation, we just exposed the issue, and almost immediately a real case drops, proving the exact same point. So I'm going to say this once again. The males in St. Vincent and the Grenadines need protection, because when a woman rapes a young boy, the boy is not protected. And in this case where a grown adult man violates a young boy, the young boy is not protected. So there definitely needs to be some change to protect the young boys in our country. You couldn't script that better even if you tried. So now the question is no longer, is this a problem? Because we saw it just happen. The real question is, how many more cases like this will it take before the law changes? Because right now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the crime can happen, the victim can suffer, the court can convict, but the law still says this is not rape. And that in itself is the real problem.